Boss always found an error with my monthly reports and cover letters, so I used her old ones and watched her rip them apart. This story takes me back 19 years to when I worked for State Street Bank, under one of the most difficult bosses I've ever encountered, Paula. If you're considering a job there in Boston, trust me, skip it. It was a tough place to work. When I first joined Paula's team, I was led to believe we were tackling complex financial operations with high visibility. In reality, it felt more like a mushroom farm, kept in the dark and fed nonsense. My job was to compile reports and gather data from people who were terrified of us. I quickly realized I needed to find a way out. Paula had a knack for nitpicking every detail of my work, focusing on the most trivial issues. One of my responsibilities was a weekly update on oil warrants from Nigeria. For those unfamiliar, a warrant is an agreement to buy a commodity at a set price, regardless of its current value. We had to monitor these closely to avoid massive losses. Week after week, Paula would tear my reports apart, over formatting and wording, completely ignoring the actual numbers. Then one day, while browsing through the network files, I stumbled upon an old folder containing Paula's past work on a similar project. I decided to use her format, changing the report structure and cover letter language to match hers. When I brought the revised report to her office, she completely lost it. She demanded to know what had happened to the old format. I calmly explained that since she hadn't liked my previous submissions, I thought it best to change things up. She went on and on about how this was the worst report I had ever submitted. I remained silent, just watching her. Finally, she asked what I was thinking when I made these changes. I told her I had used her own formatting and language from her previous reports. The look on her face was priceless. She was utterly dumbfounded. I asked if I should revert to my original format since she had just declared this one unreadable. She reluctantly signed off on the reports, saying we didn't have time to redo them. I confirmed they were fine to send, and she insisted they were good as is, so I sent them out. I had saved all her old work in case I needed it again. I noticed she deleted or moved those older folders after I found them, which I had expected. This little game continued for the rest of my time there. I would use her templates and wait for her to criticize them, and eventually she figured out I had saved everything. When she confronted me, I told her I created standard operating procedures using her past work. It seemed like a logical approach. A few months later, I was finally able to quit. So here's to you, Paula.